So apparently there is a strategist strike going on in Marvel Rivals, and very popular, very good Marvel Rivals player Necros is fanning the flames just a little bit. And as a strategist main, I wanted to chime in and give my 2 cents. So for those of you who aren't aware about this, I wasn't aware about this. I had a buddy come on, he's like, hey, have you heard about the strategist strike in Rivals? I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm playing strategist, what do you mean? So if you're unaware, let me give you a little bit of a backstory. Here's a quick TikTok. These are popping up everywhere. So here's one strategist player talking about this situation.
Where are all the Inslot DPS? What happened to all the Lord level strategists? Where are they? Babe, we stopped playing strategist because y'all have made it a miserable experience for us. Every time that we lose a match, all of a sudden it's GG no heals, and we are the ones to blame. It's GG no heals. Mind you, you are the one as the Inslot DPS that chooses Spider-Man or Black Panther, diving into the enemy backline and getting out of your strategist line of sight and not running towards the health pack when you're at low health and dying and wondering why we keep losing. I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this. Put down the G Fuel and listen to your strategist. There is no strategist in the game that can heal through walls. If you are out of line of sight, you are not getting healed. Play with your team, and maybe you'll get healed, just maybe. Maybe. As a veteran Overwatch player that went over to Marvel Rivals, I knew for a fact that I was going to have to play at least 3 characters in every role in this game so that we can flex for whenever somebody isn't meeting the needs of our team. But I can't be the only one that's willing to swap when we need something to change in the team comp. You Insta-Lock DPS are going to have to get some range and learn to play other characters. In fact, maybe you should pick up strategists so that you can see what it feels like to be a strategist and get your rocked in the backline.
So yeah, right now we're in a very diver heavy meta, and a lot of people have been complaining about divers. By the way, go check out like Coach Mills made a video on how to deal with divers. It's very good, very educational. Make sure you check that out. Personally, I've been playing since the alpha. I've hated divers. I've hated divers the entire time. All right, I've been playing strategists since way back in the alpha and beta, and yeah, and now they're even more of an issue. Even like Rocket's dash got nerfed, and he was one of the best ones to get away from these divers, but yeah, they are a huge pain. But I do recommend learning how to deal with them, but as we'll talk about in a second, a lot of dealing with divers does have to do with your team actually supporting you. So aside from the dive meta that's going on and people not really supporting this, the supports in the game, a lot of people have been complaining about the new point system in ranked because they say it's prioritizing DPS. And I do want to be honest with you. I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of the rank system right now. I actually just made a video about that. Go check that out. But I think that they could have done a much better job with this rank system. I think they had a huge opportunity and it's not really there. I think that they should switch up their algorithm to recognize, you know, when you're doing good on support, when you're doing good on tank, you know, to give you more points, all right? And have you lose less points if you're doing your job and you do happen to lose the game. I've seen a lot of people talking about how, you know, these kind of results-based systems aren't good and how they won't work and all this other stuff. And I think the reason why is because people are really overcomplicating it, all right? I do think it can work. But real quick, to be honest with you, I don't think it's influencing people's points and ranked as much as they think. I saw a TikTok the other day, and I can't remember where I saw it, but anyways, they were talking about this too. But the biggest factor when it comes to your ranked points is your skill level or your rank compared to everybody else, right? So if you're playing, right, if you're playing in a group of people and you're at one of the you're on the lower end of the ranks, and then the other people in the lobby are on the higher end of the ranks, right? Like let's say you are in you know, platinum, right? And you are the only one in platinum and everybody else is diamond. You are going to lose less points and you're going to win a lot more points. Now, let's say you are in diamond and you are playing with a bunch of people who are platinum. You're going to win fewer points and you're gonna lose a lot more points, okay? So that is something that is really apparent. But other than that, like I haven't seen the point system influence things as much as we think, but it does seem like DPS players are favored a little bit, and I do not like that incentive system. So anyways, let's jump over and let's look at this clip of what got people a little bit perturbed with Necros.
This is why I hate support players, guys. They're just morons. They're idiots, and I hate them.
So I became aware of this Necros clip because Boger shared this Reddit thread that was going around. All right, so let's read it together. The support strike and Necros' comments, why this actually matters. With the recent support strike going on in Marvel Rivals, I wanted to share an experience that really shows why many support players are speaking up and had enough right now. Necros outright said on stream that he hates support players and called them quote unquote idiots and morons. That kind of statement, coming from a big voice in the community, does real damage. Streamers don't get to opt out of influence. If you have a following, what you say matters in your community. And now we're seeing the consequences of that. In a recent match, I was playing support and I wasn't doing bad. Nearly 50,000 healing, only 2 deaths, same damage blocked as our DPS, and just 10k less total damage dealt. Still, someone in voice chat told me Necros was right. You support players are all brain dead. And that's the exact problem. This mindset is being validated and amplified, and it makes playing the role feel increasingly thankless. So after this Reddit post went viral a little bit on Twitter, someone presented this challenge to Necros.
This is why I hate support players, guys. They're just morons. They're idiots, and I hate them.
Exhibit 472 as to why strategist players don't want to play strategist anymore, because you have a dude that plays nothing but Spider-Man talking about a role that he has literally never played in his life and has absolutely no clips on his page playing as a support character. These are the types of people that ruin games and shouldn't be allowed to make content or have opinions. This dude plays as the most selfish DPS character that has the maximum amount of movement in this game, to where you literally can enter and exit fights within a split second, and he has the nerve to sit there and talk about support players. I challenge this dude to play an entire season as anybody else, but Spider-Man. I challenge this dude to play an entire season as a support player before he ever opens his mouth ever again on this app. As a matter of fact, I challenge every single person that says that strategist is easy to play an entire season as a strategist and make it all the way up to Celestial or beyond, since you think that it's so easy and that it's such a boosted role. If it's so boosted, then I want to see you boost yourself to one above all, using only strategists. Watching a guy who plays nothing but Spider-Man try to give an opinion on a strategist role is like hearing a waterboy say that the quarterback is useless. How about we see that waterboy put on a helmet and go play quarterback for an entire season before he starts talking? So let's see it, Necros. Nut up or shut up. If you don't accept this challenge to play an entire season as a strategist, then don't ever say about a strategist ever again. Just being honest.
Let me be honest with all of you real quick. I think Necros would do fine on support, okay? It is not a super complex role, all right? It is difficult, it is thankless. I main strategist. I have like 5 of 7 strategist characters as Lord, so I get it, I empathize. But to say that Necros wouldn't do good on strategists, I think that's a little bit crazy, all right? But I do like the idea. I do like it. I do wish that more, Vanguards and Duelists did have to play strategists for an entire season. Why? Not because it's, the hardest thing that nobody can do, even though it is very difficult. It is tough, okay? I think every role is tough in its own way. I do think people should go through the experience of just playing like crazy and like doing really well, and everybody's still blaming you anyways. I think everybody should be in the position where your team is just doing the dumbest things imaginable, right? Going to places, right, where it's impossible to get healed and getting screamed at for not healing you. I think everybody should go through that. It's almost like, there's people who are, just born rich, and then they just, get a job on Wall Street because they're mommy and daddy or whatever. Like, those people should have to work like, minimum wage jobs just to get that experience. Everybody should like have to work a service job in their life. I think that's the same in Marvel Rivals. I think these people should have to play strategists for a season just so they could see how thankless it is, because it will give them a little bit more empathy. So my last 2 characters that I need to get Lord on for strategists are Jeff and Loki, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna start maining some tanks and see how that goes. So I got Thing to Lord, I got Emma Frost to Lord, and now I'm working on some other ones. But yeah, like I'm realizing that the Vanguard role is difficult in its own way. And I'll tell you this, DPS players, that is a lot of pressure. That's one of the reasons I don't touch it. It's a lot of pressure because if you're not dropping like 20 to 30 frags, like you're not doing your thing, So I do think every role is tough in its own way, but I wish people like Necros would get humbled by having to play strategist for a season. But then that's not all. Necros then decided to double down on his comments.
This is gonna be another really hot take. I will be honest, bro. I will be honest. When I think about it, let's all collectively give our opinions at the same time. So I'll ask you guys, who do you guys think, on average, are the worst players on the team? Which role typically has the worst players? If I asked you guys, you guys are saying that ironically. You guys know it's the support players, bro. You guys know it's the support. It is not deep. Shut the fuck, Chad. You guys are just trying to be funny. You guys are trying to be funny. You're just rage baiting me. It's just support players. They are just okay. The reason I say that is because, so how many times, like, let's say someone's doing bad on DPS, how many times do they get told to swap to support? Like, you don't see like someone being like, oh man, you're really bad at support, go DPS.
So it's hard to tell when Necros is joking or not, but I think the chat was right. Like, DPS players, like, when I think of who's bad, it's DPS players, right? Like, it has been a thing since Marvel Rivals, like, came to fruition that insta-log DPS players are a nightmare. People who jump in. Like, you can't tell me that when you load up a game and you see somebody insta-lock Spider-Man or like Magic or Black Panther, one of these divers, right? You see them and you're like, oh no, this might go very, very poorly, right? Like, a lot of people who insta-lock DPS players are terrible. And why? Because all of them think that they are like the star quarterback. All of them load up and they're like, you know what? I'm locking in duelist and I'm gonna carry my team to victory. I'm gonna frag out, I'm gonna go nuts. And so many of them are just terrible, all right? I can think of so many more games where I'm just like, God, our DPS is just not doing anything, right? Like, and you can really tell as a strategist, when you're back there just healing and healing and healing and healing and keeping people alive and they're not getting a single frag, you're like, okay, all right, you guys aren't doing too great. But yeah, let's talk about every role and how people can do kind of poorly at it, all right? So one of the reasons I started doing Vanguard, aside from putting off Jeff and Loki to get to Lord, is I noticed that a lot of people have been playing strategists. I personally haven't noticed the strategist strike. What I have noticed is a lot of people, when they're forced into the tank role, do a lot worse than if people are forced into the strategist role. So I started playing tank. A lot of people who are Vanguards are just not that great at it. A lot of people who play tank just hold W, they think that they're unkillable, they don't know when to get out of fights and all that. So like, Vanguards do need to straighten up. But for all my fellow strategist players out there, we need to have an honest conversation real quick, okay? Since I am a strategist main, I feel like I'm in a great position to tell you this, all right? Something I don't hear people talking about enough when it comes to this strategist strike and all this is that we're not being honest. We're not being honest that a lot of strategist players suck. Like you guys know, just because you play strategist doesn't immediately mean that you are good. Like, I have really recognized this now that I'm playing Vanguard, all right? I have spent, hundreds of hours playing strategist characters, like dating all the way back to the alpha. So I know what the strategist role is like. And now that I'm dipping into Vanguard, like, when I'm not getting healed and my team is not getting dove, right? Like, I am like, what are you doing? I cannot tell you something I do when I'm like just solo queuing and messing around or whatever. One of my favorite things to do is when I am like half health or below half health, not getting healed, and I turn around because I'm like, okay, my strategist must be getting dove. There must be a really good reason why they're not healing me and I'm the solo tank in this match. There must be a real good reason. So I turn around, they are not being dove and they are just shooting. They're just doing their primary fire like a rocket, just shooting his little Gatling gun, right? And one of my favorite things to do is I run back to them and I stand right in their face. I can't tell you how many times I do that and they still don't heal me. When I am a solo tank and I run back there and I am looking them dead in the eyes and they still are not healing me. And no, this isn't like, oh, they're mad because I said something, because when I solo queue, I don't even use my mic. I'm usually just like listening to an audiobook or something like that. So like, a lot of strategist players just aren't healing. And a lot of them just don't know, like, who to prioritize when healing. And these are the things that kind of make strategists, a little bit more complex role. It's not just like you just sit back there and just heal everybody, right? You need to know, when, who to heal, when to to pop your ult and stuff like that. But anyways, during this whole strategist strike thing, I think a lot of people are in denial, and we're not talking enough about how a lot of strategist players are just bad, all right? And hey, I used to be bad. I used to be really bad. You gotta practice, you gotta learn, you gotta do some things. But I just don't think it's fair to act like every single strategist is just like also like, you know, getting into that ego space of the DPS players like, oh, I'm God's gift to everybody. I keep everybody alive. Nobody can complain about me. No, people can be bad in every single role. But anyways, you know, I just want to chime in on this topic. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think about this? What do you think about the current meta? How it feels playing a strategist? What are your thoughts on the rank system? What are your thoughts about Necros and all his comments? Let me know down in the comments below, all right? But anyways, that's all I got for this video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. But that's all I got for you. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.